Hey YouTube, how's it going? Today I'm gonna do a Bakasura video. I want to do a guide on Bakasura for Duel just because he'll be very good on the classic joust map still, and also the fact that he just is always a top pick in Duel. Like you can't go wrong with this character. He usually gets banned out, but if he doesn't get banned out, you're gonna have so much success if you just play this character. So first off, I'm gonna tell you his level order. You want to max all three, or you want to put a point into all three of your abilities at level 1. And then you're going to max the Butcher Blades, put a point into your ult at level 5, of course. I would 100% max this first before doing anything else. And then you're going to max the, you can do the ult whenever you want. It does reduce the cooldown on it. I don't do it personally, but I can see why some people would do it. I usually max the 2-second. Then I will put a few points into the ult, max out the rest of my my 1, and then I will do that. The reason I max the 2 first and a lot of other people don't is just because of the flat protections that it gives you for Duel is really nice. A heal is always really nice, and just mana overall, if you do double buff, is very, very good. Alright, now for builds. For builds, I would honestly go tier 2 Golden Blade most of the time. I will show you another build that's good against specifically physical characters, but it's still not as good as this build in my opinion. After you double buff, if you go from speed to blue, pick up speed, and get 2 health, 2 mana pots with this, you have enough gold after about 2 waves to back, even if they go under tower for the most part. You can back, get Golden Blade online, and then you're good to clear waves. I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so here we are at the wave. You'll probably be level 4 somewhere in the middle of this. For some reason it put me back to level 20. But literally, like, look how fast this is. You just literally auto them all down. Butcher Blades don't proc to the little AoE effect that it has, but it's still nice because it just gives it good old, 10 true damage. Alright, after you finish that Golden Blade, honestly, you can go into Boots, you can go into Hasten Katana, Stone Cutting Sword, Ichabod if you don't really need the movement speed. A lot of the times you're going to want the movement speed if you just need to, like, stick on a character, but if it's someone that doesn't have a movement speed buff or anything pertaining to that, you can feel free to just go Ichabod. Your passive gives you, what, I think it's, yeah, 15% movement speed. So, honestly, you will be over the amount that Boots would give you. For this build, I usually do like to go Hasten, that's just my preference. And then I usually go Ichabod, because Ichabod, the passive, is just so absurdly good for Duel, and it's just such a good item. Then I'll go into Toxic Blade, usually, just because they will have some sort of healing for the most part. This is just like a cookie cutter build that you could probably put on Bakasura in any matchup and do pretty decent with him. The only problem with this build is that it doesn't give you a lot of pen, but if you go Stone Cutting Sword here, it's going to increase your physical procs by 30 and decrease theirs by 30, so it's not bad. Also, we have true damage in the kit, so really you're just going to want to, like, stack a lot of attack speed and a little bit of defense rather than going for a bunch of power. So that's why I opt for the Hasten Katana over the Stone Cutting. Alright, next in the build, we have either Frostbound Hammer, or if you're against a magical character, I would 150% recommend Talisman of Energy. Talisman of Energy is going to give you a lot of attack speed, movement speed, and MP5, which, Bakasura loves all of those stats. It gives you some health and prots, because our last item that we're going to get is actually Animosity. And what Animosity does is your basic attacks deal bonus damage equal to 4% of your maximum health as magical damage. So the reason that that's so good is they're not going to be building magical defense against a Bakasura. So once you have that, you're literally just going to shred. I will go over here and I will demonstrate on the robot here. So as you can see, we're just going to absolutely shred him. We have no pen or anything. As you can see, we have absolutely no pen, but we're going to go against this Ymir, and look how much we shred him. Look how fast we just absolutely shred him. As you guys can see, Animosity is doing 85 per proc, and that is on a level 20 Odin. Of course, it has no protections, but they're not going to be building magical protections against you anyway. So an extra 85 damage per auto attack is actually a lot more than you think. Because you're thinking about it, you're doing 70 true damage, 85 damage, and then you're just going to be on top of that just doing a ton anyway. Another option that you have, if you don't want to keep the Hasten Katana or the Golden Blade, is you can sell one of them. I'd probably sell Hastened over Golden Blade if you don't need to stick to them. But if you need to stick to them, of course, just sell Golden Blade and keep the other one. You can go Frostbound Hammer. Frostbound Hammer, it's going to reduce your attack speed a little bit, but once you have your passive, it'll be fine anyway. As you can see on this Odin, now we're hitting for 94 per proc, and we're doing about the same damage normally. So really, we're just getting a slow effect on top of everything else. We're getting health, we're getting power. Really good item overall. Honestly, this build is my favorite build for Bakasura and Duel right now. Animosity is just super, super fun. Alright, and as for the second build that I would go, I don't like this build as much. I don't really have too many like issues with it. It doesn't feel as good as the other one. That's why I don't like it, but feel free to try it out. I usually only use it against physical characters, but we have Mannequins, which has some physical procs, some basic attack damage, which you want on Bakasura. You can double buff a lot faster here. Sometimes you can even make it to their blue buff and invade them with your Eat Minion if you're really feeling spicy, and then you can get everything a lot quicker and you're going to be really far ahead. If you're going to be starting with this build, I'd do something like this, where you can either get Mannequins in Tier 1 Ichabod for actually enhance that basic attack damage, or you could just go into this and go into Golden Blade or Hasten Katana or Stone Cutting, like I said that last time, and it effectively does the same thing, but you're going to get both of these items at some point probably anyway. So it's not too big of a deal when you get them, just you got to watch your power spikes. So let's say we start the Ichabod one. We're going to go right into boots before we finish our Ichabod. Attack speed boots are normally better over warrior boots. And that is mainly just because of the fact that they almost even out, but also with Bakasura, the attack speed is just so nice that you can't pass it up. Alright, after that, we're going to finish our Ichabod. Go into one of these items. Usually I go Stone Cutting because this means I'm against the physical anyway. So you're going to be stripping his physical defense away from him. You're going to be lowering his attack speed, and you're going to be lowering his attack speed with this. And you have physical prots, and you're burning him. So it's really, really good. After that, I normally go into a physical defense item. So I'd go something like a Berserker Shield, if I can find it. So we'll go into Berserker Shield after that. Around this time, you're going to be hitting like level 17, so you should be able to finish this item pretty soon. I would 100% use Mannequin's Mace over Hidden Blade just because of the fact that Bakasura doesn't have very good initiation. Mannequin's Mace is very consistent too, compared to Hidden Blade. Sometimes I even sell the Mannequin's Mace if I want something else later in the build, but not normally. And lastly, as you guys can see, we're lacking a little bit of pen, so we're going to go into Executioner here, and we will finish this. And you can sell your boots later for something like a Hastened or a Serrated Edge. Honestly, just whatever suits you better. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to test on the Ymir bot just like the last one. And we're just going to do purely auto attacks, and just look at how much he is burning for. He literally can't do a thing. Honestly, I would only recommend this build into Hunters and Auto Attack Assassins because of the fact that you have Ichabod, Stone Cutting Sword, and Mannequins. So all of those you want to box really badly. But honestly, this build can be really good. This build can be absurdly good in the right scenario. Hunters are your main focus, though, with this build. There is one last start that I want to talk about today with you guys, and that is Leather Cowl. Some people in Duel think that this is a very, very good item. I am not really sure where I want to place it. It does give a good amount of movement speed early. It gives attack speed, lifesteal, power. I just don't think that it's as good on Bakasura because you don't really need lifesteal, and the attack speed's kind of negligible until level 20. And at that point, you can get something like a Gilded Arrow and just get more. Gilded Arrow also is a good runner-up for something that you can do. It does give you the 20% attack speed if you get your target, and you can just eat your target. You get the bonus gold, so you can get your stuff a little faster. If you're going Gilded Arrow, though, just make sure that you just flat-out rush Golden Blade and then go Boots into Ichabod, because you will get it so quick. But both of these did get nerfed this patch, so just take that into account as well. I haven't tested them. Alright, and then the last one that I'm going to talk about is Boomba's Hammer. You can get Boomba's Dagger early if you want to double buff an invade, or if you just want to double buff really, really fast and get to wave. I honestly would get this later if I did this and just do the tier 2 Golden Blade start. But I think Bumba's Hammer's pretty decent on Bakasura. So after every auto attack, you get 80 true damage on top of your true damage from your autos already. Your stuff is reduced by 1 second, and you're healed for 5%. Your main combo, if you're going to go this, would probably be to jump on them to initiate, auto attack, 3, auto attack, eat something if it's nearby, auto attack, and then just ult. And by that time, look at all your abilities that are off cooldown. So let's actually do that in like a practical use. So let me show you guys actually a demonstration of this. So we're going to spawn in a red buff here. If we jump on the red buff, auto attack, and then we 3 auto attack, eat minion auto attack, our jump is already on a 2-second cooldown. Alright, and last but not least, we have Relics. Relics, honestly, I just think that beads against certain characters, Shell is usually a must-have. You never want Bracer because they're going to build anti-heal for your 2 usually, but you can go Bracer if you don't think that they're going to, or there's someone that doesn't apply anti-heal very well. Sprint is also very good, and Cursed Ankh in some situations. Those are probably some of the only few that I would use. Alright guys, that is going to be it for the Bakasura video today. I hope you guys learned something new, or you just enjoyed in general. If you guys ever want to see any god guides from me for Duel or for Conquest or anything at all, leave your suggestions down in the comments below. I will be happy to help any questions in the comments. When the classic Joust map comes out, we will be making a ton of content for it. So everyone have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching. What the fuck? Can't get that. Whew, I probably shouldn't have fought him in that, but I thought I could kill him and I was right, so.